Okay, today I'd like to go on our series of Vulnhub. The virtual machine would be Gainpower 1. I will put the link into the description section below so you can download the image. Before we start today's video, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and also leave a like below. Thank you. I do appreciate your help and support. Let's get started. To save time, I have already imported the virtual machine into the VirtualBox. So now I'd like to walk smoothly into the world of virtual machine. As you can see, I has identified the IP address of the virtual machine as 253. And I also did the nmap scanning. I did the scene scan, the version scan, and the script scan, and also did the comprehensive scan by the option of -P-. From the nmap scanning result, as you can see over here, the three open ports. The first one is 21, which runs SSH service and also the version information. Of course, as we know, this version doesn't have any vulnerability we can exploit. And the second one is 80, which runs HTTP service. And the last one is 8000, which is also runs the HTTP service. Of course, now we need to do some enumeration for the other two open ports except the 22. Okay, let's maybe we can close up unnecessary tab or window of the browser, and let's input the IP address of the target. Yeah, here I think this is a very beautiful website, and also has some link like a shop, about, like latest blog pages, and contact. Oh, now it's connecting to the outer site, connecting to the maps, gstatic.com. But since I configured the virtual machine as host only, and it certainly time out, I think we can cancel this one. And also here there is one link for the login, for the user login, and we can try like admin, and admin login. Of course, it will fail. And also I tried like login bypass techniques, but all failed. So, and we can check whether the site exists, the robots. Yeah, not found. It's okay. And now we can do the to do some more enumeration for the HTTP, and we can use the Lateral, specify the IP address. Okay. And at the same time, we can visit another port, which is 8000. Yeah, there is another user login window, and as you can see, I think maybe the CMS is Agenti. And when I did this virtual machine several minutes ago, I didn't find any useful vulnerability which is related to this Agenti, and also tried like weak credentials, but all failed. And we can head over to the terminal. I think there's some discoveries from the directory enumeration. The first one is readme. and we can visit this file, readme.txt. But this information is just some sort of the information about the templates. Thank you for using our template. Okay, we can try another one. Yes, secret. And there's several images, like the gain images, and I downloaded such images onto the Kali Linux and used the tool like stack-hide, stack-seek to see whether such images have hidden message. But it didn't work out, or it didn't have any hidden message inside in all those images. And of course, to save time, I will not do such image analysis now. And now we can. And also there is another file which names test.php. We can visit this one. Test. Yeah, configure PHP. And also we can check the source code of this page. But it didn't give us any useful information. So, and I also tried to use like GoBuster to make more directory enumeration, but it didn't. Although it can give us several directories or files, but it didn't help us very much. I mean, from the perspective of the penetration. So I think we need to try other ways around. For example, we can try if we can visit the SSH of target by specify the root user. I need to remove the cached session or cached key. And log in again. So, although of course at this point we didn't have any password for the root user, but there's some banners information. This banner give us so much information. For example, I hope everyone know the joining ID. Of course, that's your username. For example, like employee 1, employee 2, and so on. Of course, this should be the username pattern. And I already told the format of password of everyone in the yesterday's meeting. I think this is the mis-spelling. And so I think the password maybe has some pattern. For example, like the same as the username correspondingly. And also I have configured everything. My request is to everyone to complete assignment on time. By the way, one of my employee, very important information. Just one of my employee have sudo powers because he's my favorite. So this message is the some hints given by the author or the boss. So I think we can cancel because we didn't have the password for the root. But maybe you can see the employee 1. We can try the employee 1. Login employee 1 and specify the IP address of the target. And the password is employee 1. Employee 1. Okay, we successfully log in as employee 1, and we can list the content of the home directory of this user. And if we go to the home directory, list the content of this home directory. There's so many users. Let's scroll up, like a coworker and employee and helper. Of course, what we are going to do next is to find the user who has sudo power, right? And we do not need to care about or pay attention to other types of users like a coworker and a helper. We just need to do the enumeration for the employee type of user. But because, of course, we can log in to each user, the employee, for example, like employee 1, employee 11, and to see whether this user has a sudo privilege. For example, like we can sudo L and input the password. Employee. But this user employee may not run sudo on localhost, so we need to exit the share of the employee, and because there are too many employees, maybe it's so inefficient if we do the enumeration manually, right, one by one. We can use the Python to help us to improve the efficiency, right? And I have already write this code. Written. And the module I use is parameter. Of course, this module is very useful when we try to log in through the SSH to the target. And here I create the class and run sudo. And because the sudo, we cannot run the sudo directory, because the sudo, like I showed now, the system will require us to input the password again. So we need to use for example, we need to open a session, and also need to combine the error and the standard output, and need to request a sudo terminal from the server and execute command, and also need to transfer or write the password into the session, and then can read this standard output. Of course, I also will put all the codes into my write up, and I also will put the link into the description section below, so you can use my reference, use my write up as a reference. Okay, and I run this script, and as you can see, the user 64, the result or the print message, it would be different. As you can see, the password for the employee 64, the user employee may run the following commands on the local host and the programmer. But other users like 65, the information would be different. For example, it's like user employee 65 may not run sudo on localhost. I think you get my idea. So now we have already identified the user who has sudo power, and we can log in as the user employee 64 SSH employee 64. And the password is also the employee 64. And we can run the sudo again and employ 64. So you can see the user employee 64 may run the following commands on localhost. So we can run, of course, the unshare is the command to allow us to run some commands in a different namespace. But I think now we are just concerned how to make lateral movement to the user programmer, right? And we can do this like sudo and specify the username is programmer and run this unshare. And the command I'd like to run by the unshare is bin bash id. So now, as you can see over here, now we are already in the share of programmer. So what can we do? We can go to its home directory, and we can go to the home and go to the employee 64. A permission denied. Oh, sorry. Now we are in the programmer, right? We can go to the programmer. No such directory. It's okay. So now what we can do is we can run the sudo command again, and but of course now we didn't get the password for the programmer, right? So we can cancel this one. And now if we do the very basic enumeration, for example, like go to the root directory and go to the media, go to the programmer, go to the scripts, and there is one share script. We can cut this script. So this script will make a copy from this file to this file into the temporary directory, and we can check the status of this file. We can copy. As you can see, this is the current time, just today. So in other words, maybe this script is running on the background in schedule or regularly. And to confirm this, we can go to the temporary directory, and we can upload, and we can go to a new working directory, and we can upload the tool of PSPY64. The tool can watch all processes, even we didn't have a root privilege, and we can use the Python to upload this tool, and we can use the wget. And paste in here. Okay, and we add the executable privilege to this file. Sorry. And PS and run. Yeah. So now the two PSPY64 will present us all processes, including the user ID and also the press ID and which command behind this process. And as we wait some moments, sorry, excuse me. Yeah, as you can see, this line, it means the user 1183, the UID, will run this command regularly, and we can interrupt this one. And if we check the password file, 1183 is owned by this user Vansal. So, and also we can check, if we can check the privilege of the file media and the programmer script and backup. So the programmer can modify the content of this file. So now what we can do is to add the reverse shell command into this file, and then we can get the shell of another user, which is the Vansal, and how to do it. And we can use, this is a very normal reverse shell command, and we can head over to this one, and we can echo and paste in here, and can append to this file. Okay, and we can open up another tab and go to the working directory, set up the listener, and we wait for the target to connect to us. Yeah, immediately we got the shell ID. This shell belongs to the user Vansal, sorry, and we can list the content, and we get the user flag. Okay, so no problem. Now the next aim is to elevate our privilege, but as you can see, inside this home directory of user Vansal, there is one file. We need to download this file into the Kali Linux. How to do? We can use the Python HTTP server module to do this. But before we do this, we need to confirm the version. No Python 3 on the target, and we can confirm the Python 2. Yeah, Python 2 exists on the target, so we can set up the HTTP server by simple HTTP server, and we can specify the port number is 999. Okay, no problem. And now we can open up a new tab, and we can use the wget secret zip. Yeah, no problem. And we can unzip this file secret, but it's protected by password. We can cancel, and now we can use the John the Ripper to crack this file. But before we do that, we need to confirm. Sorry, I need to convert the file onto the hash value, and I'll autocomplete this command. Yeah, and then we can use the John the Ripper. Because I have done this virtual machine before, so it will not go through the process of cracking again. So I just use the show option to display the password. So the password is this one, and we can copy, and we can unzip and paste in here. Okay, and we can cut the content. So this is a very long password. Of course, we cannot crack such a password. And do you remember we have another, the CMS or open port, which is 8000. So maybe this one is used by the administrator, and we can go back to this one. We input the username root, and the password is, we can paste the long password and login. Okay, so the agenti or control panel, we have already successfully logged in as root user, and there are a lot of different functions, do some configuration and also some like state monitoring. But if you or walk at the bottom, almost the bottom terminal, there is terminal. So it means that we can run the command, and or this control panel has web shell function embedded. But I didn't like this sort of web shell. I'd like to spawn the real or actual shell. How to do? We can use this same command, but use a different port number. We can copy, and we can and we can like a 777. And before we hit run, we need to set up the listener. And now let's hit run. Now, yeah, we have already got the collection from the target as root user. We can check on this by ID command, and we can go to the root directory, and we can cut the root flag here. Okay, now we successfully completed this virtual machine, and I think this box is is intermediate level from the difficulty perspective. Okay, so that's all I'd like to demonstrate in this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.